It's good. But then, I don't know why I'm crying.
Lori Allen from Say Yes to the Dress is someone a lot of people think about when they think of weddings.
So I'm like any other of you women out there. I worried about everybody else except for myself.
She's helped so many people find their perfect wedding dress. But what about her own wedding? Who is Lori married to? And what's her relationship like? Here's what we know. Not everyone knows this, but Lori is actually married. And she's been married to her husband for decades at this point. She and Eddie Allen got married in 1979. They actually celebrated their 44th wedding anniversary earlier this year, in July 2023. And it seems like they're still going strong. But who is Eddie? And how did they meet? Well, according to Lori, she and Eddie were actually college sweethearts. They reportedly met in 1977 when Lori was just 18 years old. Eddie is 4 years older than Lori, so he was already in his 20s. But despite their age difference, they clearly hit it off. They were both studying at Columbia College, and one day, Eddie approached Lori and asked her to help him study. Apparently, he only did this because he wanted to get to know her better. And it seems like his plan worked out for him, because they tied the knot 2 years later. This was despite the fact that their families were initially against it. Lori and Eddie were still just students, so those around them were worried that they were rushing into things. But the couple didn't listen to those worries. They got married anyway, and they proved everyone wrong, because they've been together ever since. But the thing is that Lori and Eddie aren't just husband and wife. They're also business partners. They opened Bridals by Lori in 1980, which was just a year after their wedding, so they've been working together for almost as long as they've been married. Working and living together could easily break other couples up. But Lori and Eddie clearly knew what they were doing when they started a business together, because it hasn't broken them up at all. Although there were times when things got a little difficult for them. Lori herself admitted that it wasn't always easy, especially in the beginning. They were building Bridals by Lori and trying to turn it into a successful business. But at the same time, the couple also started a family together. Lori and Eddie have 2 kids, a son, Corey, and a daughter, Molly. And Lori admitted that when the children were young, it felt like their lives just revolved around the business and the kids. And they didn't really have time for anything else, including their relationship. It's honestly incredible that Lori and Eddie managed to get through that without giving up on their marriage. Despite not having a lot of free time that they could spend with each other, they stayed together. And eventually, things relaxed a little bit, and their bond grew even stronger. I think that Lori and Eddie probably have really good communication skills, because something like this would definitely require a lot of understanding on both sides. Plus, Lori herself admitted that the two of them are actually quite different. She gave this one example that didn't sound too serious, but it clearly showed that they have to be open-minded to maintain a healthy relationship. Lori said that she's not really a morning person. She likes to chat in the evening over dinner after she's come home from work, but she prefers to stay silent in the morning. However, Eddie is not like that at all. He's apparently someone who loves early mornings, and Lori said that this is also his favorite time to communicate. He loves talking to her before breakfast. He sometimes even brings up these really big ideas, and that can be a lot for Lori to handle. Obviously, this isn't a massive problem or anything like that, but it does show that these two clearly know how to compromise and communicate with each other. Because if they didn't, small things like this would probably fester, and they probably wouldn't still be so happy together at this point. But despite their good communication skills, they do still sometimes argue. Lori also admitted this. She said that they've definitely had some rough patches, but they got through them. And at the end of the day, those difficult times only brought them closer together. They also decided to focus on having more fun in their marriage. Lori and Eddie understand that it's important to be able to laugh together. And Lori said that fun doesn't always have to mean going out and riding Ferris wheels. It can also be about the smaller things. According to her, it's really important to find joy in everyday shared experiences, like going to the beach or playing with their grandkids. Lori and Eddie clearly enjoy spending time in each other's company, and that's probably what makes them such a power couple. It also makes a lot of sense. If they didn't genuinely enjoy being around each other, they'd have divorced a long time ago. After all, like I said, they aren't just married, they also work together. So they probably see each other even more than most married couples do. But they still love being together, and it doesn't seem like divorce is really in the cards for them. They're just a genuinely good couple, and they clearly love each other very much. But they also know that there are things that matter when it comes to love and marriage. They're committed to each other, but they also understand that their community and friendships are important too. Eddie and Lori are obviously always there for each other, but they aren't the only people they can rely on. Lori said that having friends who support them and their relationship is super important too, both in good times and bad times. And Lori and Eddie have definitely been through some bad times. In 2012, Lori had to have a double mastectomy to treat her breast cancer. That must have been an insanely difficult time for her, but it was probably probably really hard for Eddie too. It's never easy watching those you love suffer, but he was there for her then, and he was also there for her years later when she had an accident at work. In 2019, Lori was filming a promo for Say Yes to the Dress, but she tripped and fell, and she sustained some pretty serious injuries. She ended up with a broken nose, 2 cracked ribs, broken wrists, a concussion, and black eyes. And she actually even had to have a couple of surgeries. She was obviously in a lot of pain, but what made it a little easier was that her family was there to support her. Apparently, her daughter Molly actually stayed with her for a couple of days, and her son Corey also came to visit her. And Eddie was there for her the whole time too. She said that she couldn't give him enough props. I'm sure that he took care of her while she was recovering. These two clearly have an amazing relationship, and they're always ready to be there for each other. Lori also talks about her husband on social media from time to time. If you go to her Instagram, you can catch glimpses of their relationship and all of the fun stuff they do together. For their 40th wedding anniversary, they actually took a trip to Italy. They went on a cruise, and they had a lot of fun together. And just recently, they did something else that Lori clearly enjoyed. It was her birthday this August, and she and Eddie celebrated by having dinner together and going to the cinema. They actually went to see the Barbie movie, and Lori even convinced Eddie to wear pink that day. They were matching, and it was honestly really adorable. Lori said that it was the perfect birthday, and I'm honestly just so happy for her. It really seems like she and Eddie are made for each other. But what do you guys think? Did you know that Lori and Eddie have been together for so long? Do you think they're a good couple? Let me know in the comments below.